Hello, here's the voiceover presentation for consumer and business buyer behaviour. This is VOP1 and we'll cover about 11 slides. The accompanying presentation has quite a few more slides and we can make VOP2 from that one. Can the marketing really change your mind? So what we're looking for is focusing here more so on consumer behavior and how marketing departments, marketing research, marketeers tries to understand why and how consumers purchase their buyer behavior. The first two concepts, what we're looking to focus on here, understand the consumer market and major factors that influence consumer/customer buyer behavior, and identifying and discussing the stages in this process. And as the slide suggests, the latter three are contained in VOP2, VOP standing for voice over presentation. Slide 3, we are explaining here in the text what consumer buying behavior refers to, focusing mainly on individuals and households, and we will look at the ACORN acronym in a little bit and how we sort of differentiate the society and consumer social status to look at one way of segmenting this consumer buyer behavior model. And the question for marketeers: how do consumers respond to various marketing efforts the organization might use? For this section, you can think of buy one, get one free. You can look at the promotional aspects, the psychological pricing. So all the marketing tactics and techniques which are used to encourage people to spend their money, ideally on products or services that they don't really need. On the left-hand side of this model, marketing other stimuli, we have the basic 4 Ps. Product, price, place and promotion here as the fundamental grounding of the buyer behavior model. Then this moves to almost like the pest analysis: political, economic, technological, cultural, could be called social. And these stimuli, these issues, can influence and have an impact on how consumers will purchase a product. The buyer's black box in the middle here, this is what goes on, as the picture suggests. This is what goes on inside the consumer's mind. How all these stimuli affect and can influence the consumer's decisions to purchase products or services. In a plane, the black box contains the key information. In the buyer's mind, it's this key information we're looking for, the important stuff. And the responses about the product choices, brand choice, dealer choice, purchase timing, purchase amount, all these items here are fundamentally, we're looking for a purchase of the product. So you want someone to be brand loyal. You want somebody to buy a product of the same brand. Like an example, the consumer who has already owned an iPhone 4 would then buy an iPhone 5. And they will be happy purchasing it at a certain amount. Other factors influencing consumer behavior: cultural, the culture of a country, of a region, the beliefs, the values, opinions of the society, the social norms in place, influences that the religion might have, and the and the sort of the way societies will act as a group of individuals and families. The social aspect of buyer behaviour, very important one, is like reference groups, young children joining a football club, family recommendations from products and services from a family, from a trusted source, is very, very powerful. We will be looking at the social classes and the subcultures on the next few slides. I'll explain those. And these factors start from cultural, social, personal, psychological, and then the buyer here. So we are sort of moving across a range of influences. Very importantly, with psychological, looking at the person's motivation, and people who studied marketing can refer back to needs, wants, and desires, about how the brand fits into this. An individual's beliefs and attitudes towards this brand or towards this item, and how quickly they can adopt this, like somebody that buys things when they first come out and will save all their money or pay a premium price, could be called an early adopter or an innovator. And these people are very keen to get the new technology or keep up with fashions as these things are all released. So another affecting factor on consumer behaviour is culture and subculture. Remember, a culture, the beliefs, opinions, attitudes, the norms of society, the impacts from certain religions will actually have on this. Now, a subculture with brands can be quite easy to define. Here we've got groups of people with shared value systems based upon common life experiences. This is a nice image of somebody doing, I believe, something like Tai Chi in a certain region. Oakley, that produce sunglasses and watches of good quality, actually have a different set of sunglasses for Asian consumers, which I believe is because Asian consumers, as opposed to Western consumers, the diameter of their heads may be slightly narrower, slightly smaller. So sunglasses designed for European and American type people, they might be a little bit bigger on their heads. I know some of the motorcycle helmet manufacturers have designed helmets for a different segment of their markets, the Asian segment, whose heads are slightly smaller. And in subcultures you have new age people, retired people. There was a massive rise of what was called the silver surfers in the 90s. The silver surfers, people who were retired and affluent, who were empty nesters, who jumped on the internet to surf and purchase and spend. And they were a massive target market for quite a few organisations. Social classes. We have got a couple of examples there of the academic text around social classes, which has come from one of the textbooks I've used in this, which will be in the reference list. And there's an example there of Newsweek about a societal couple, Bill and Melinda Gates, as it says, who's given away lots of money. So it's the social class a couple, a person would move within could be a combination of occupation, income, education, wealth, and people in different social classes can be targeted to in different ways. Here we have the National Statistics Social Economic Classification System, and there's another system called ACORN, which is Accreditation of Regional Neighbourhoods, ACORN, which is another way. So in this one, the socio-economic classification system, we have higher management right down to people who've never worked and long-term unemployed. So we're looking at people with a good affluent income, number 1, and people on a budget and a limited income on number 8. And you would adjust your marketing or aim your sort of the way and the position of your products and services at certain types here. And these consumers would obviously purchase with much different decision making. Here we have the social grade, social status, occupations as well. Another one from the Acorn system: upper middle class, higher management, down to those at lowest levels of subsistence state pensioners or widows or people with low income would be classified as sort of A to D, with the C2s in the middle, which is the B and the C2s are the sort of the very popular areas for customers and consumers who organisations would target or look at the segment of the market and these people within that segment. A question for marketing departments and marketeers: how big are these classes? Now, how many consumers through market research gained from Mintel or the National Statistics Office? You can gain some secondary information. How big are these classes? How many people exist in there? Who is the competition within this marketplace? Are they worth bothering with? Is there one brand which dominates it? Like if you look at the PC market and laptops and using software for many years, Windows had a monopoly on this. Are there a subset of cultural classes? Are there barriers around this culture within this country which would stop people from sort of adopting your brand or purchasing your products? If you click on the Business Balls link here, this is a very useful, easy to understand page on the Business Balls website about demographic classifications. So remember, demographic is very different to geographic. In demographic, looks at the value of the property per postcode, the average earnings, the intensity of people in a certain geographic area. So it is quite a useful tool for marketeers. Okay, so here we have the activity. Ideally in pairs or threes. This can be done either in the class or outside the class. For flip teaching, it's better to be done outside, and then we can discuss inside the class. So here, I want people to look at their home countries. For international learners, this is quite useful because I want you to focus on your home country, the market in your home country, which ideally you are familiar with. And assume you are trying to identify a defined, as a keyword, market segment, a segment of the market, a chunk of that market, and you think of a product. It can be something you use, can be a service, but you think of a useful item which is commonly bought by many people. So you think about this product in a certain market, and then you think about sort of the group, and you identify the market segment, and you are eliminating other potential segments for the purpose of your marketing plan. So try and focus on a defined segment of the market, not so much broad-based, but more defined. The affluent people, the higher management, these sort of things. If that's if these products have got more relativity to this segment. And then you can just make a little comment on some subcultures. Going back on the slides, have a look, and then relate this to the cultural groups and estimate the incomes. So people who live in the cities, people who live in the rural side of things. There are people who are retired. They're very educated, the university graduates. Have a think about these sort of subgroups and cultural groups and their incomes by using, just hazard a guess at one of the Acorn classification ranges of those two slides. Knock this up into a presentation, a couple of 3 slides, and then post it to the wiki or the forum in the same section within the VLE as this instructional VOP, and then we will discuss in class. And this is where we can cover the model answers and the good answers that people have found, and then we can direct you with these model answers towards the assessment. Okay, enjoy.